Hi everyone and welcome to 1/6 Figure Focus, and in this video I'm going to go through my top 5 Hot Toys predictions. Let's get started. So in this video I'm going to outline my top 5 Hot Toys 1/6 scale announcements or predictions, and that's exactly what they are, predictions. This is pure speculation and probably a bit of hopium. I have absolutely no insider information, I have no source, I'm not privy to any other additional information that you are. I have no sources in Hong Kong or China that are telling me this. I have no hookup inside in Hot Toys. I'm just a random Irish guy on the internet who happens to like 1/6 scale collecting. So I'm going to go through these, and to be honest, when you see the list, they're fairly obvious picks. I don't think there's anything surprising here, and to be honest, I'd be more surprised if they didn't release these. So let's get started. So coming in at number 5, we have BANE from the Book of Boba Fett. Obviously this was a fan favourite from the Clone Wars. I personally haven't watched all the Clone Wars yet, however I did watch the Book of Boba Fett, and while I didn't like the Book of Boba Fett overall, I loved BANE and I loved his presence and his kind of short story arc in this. The way I look at the Book of Boba Fett is, I would recommend The Mandalorian Season 1 to a Star Wars fan and a non-Star Wars fan. However, I wouldn't recommend the Book of Boba Fett to either, but I would recommend, if you are a fan of The Mandalorian, go away and watch episode number 5 and episode number 6 of the Book of Boba Fett, because they were fantastic. It's a strange thing to say, even though I didn't like the series, but they were two of the best pieces of Star Wars media that I've seen to date, and obviously BANE and his scenes played a big role in that. So I just loved his kind of intimidating presence. It was like a western in space, so kind of blue look on the face, he's really going to pop in the shelf. The red eyes, the kind of the blue look on his face, the hat, the kind of these parts that come out of him. So it was explained to me that apparently he can't be Jedi Force choked because he had these installed. Maybe I'm absolutely wrong, but this breathing apparatus just looks great. The two blue gauntlet really pop, the belt, and even the designs on the patches on his kind of, you know, I suppose you call it the shirt there, and even the long kind of coats. I think characters like the Nightmare Batman, or even like the, you know, characters from Blade Runner 2049, they look really well with those long coats. So yeah, this is number 5, really anticipating this, and I think they will do it. Coming in at number 4, spoiler alert if you haven't seen No Way Home, but this is the final suit that he makes himself and he crafts himself at the very end of Spider-Man No Way Home. So it has no Stark tech, he makes this himself, he sews it together, kind of like, you know, every other iteration of Spider-Man has done so far. What I really like about this is it's very much the classic Spider-Man look. However, there is that shine to it. I personally like the shine, because then you're giving us like more or less the kind of traditional Spider-Man suit from the comics, but just a little bit of they're kind of MCUing it up a bit, and I like that instead of just doing a direct lift. It kind of makes it its own, but I really like this, and look, I think they're definitely going to release this. Maybe not for this one, but maybe in hopefully Tom Holland signs up for another movies or another trilogy, and maybe they'll do this as a movie promo for Spider-Man 4. Now coming in at number 3, I'm ashamed to say it, but I do not have a 1/6 scale Darth Vader in my collection, and I'm a massive Star Wars fan, so that's kind of sacrilegious. Now, this is specifically the Darth Vader from Return of the Jedi, because if they repeat what they did for Empire, if you remember, Hot Toys came out and released a special series called the 40th Anniversary Empire Strikes Back figures. They did like a Darth Vader, they did a Boba Fett, which I picked up, and Lando. So hopefully they do like a 40th anniversary Return of the Jedi. I always thought a bit strange the way they did a 40th anniversary instead of waiting for the 50, but hey, look, they want to make money. So if they do a 40th anniversary Darth Vader, I'm hoping it's like this, unmasked, where you can take off the helmet and see the head underneath with all the scarring, and hopefully they nail that head sculpt. I'd be really looking forward to that. I also think maybe if he appears in Obi-Wan, if they release a Darth Vader figure to go along that, and it's similar enough to the original trilogy, basically looks like the original trilogy, and maybe if they have a battle and there's some battle damage swap all parts, that I would definitely kind of consider that. But I'm really holding out for that, hopefully a 40th anniversary Return of the Jedi Vader. I'd definitely pick this one up. Now at number 2, out of the 5 figures on the list, this is the one that I think Hot Toys is unlikely to make. I don't know why. She was fantastic in the movie. The movie, I went in with kind of, I didn't have massive hype for it because I'm a Dark Knight fan, and I didn't think it would live up to the Dark Knight, which I don't think it did, and it didn't. I still put Dark Knight ahead of this, but I loved this movie. I thought the Batman was excellent. They put their own spin on it. They didn't just rehash other versions of the character. While I'm pretty much always be a Dark Knight fan, true and true, and the Dark Knight is still my favorite Batman movie, I loved this movie, and I thought she was fantastic in it. And the reason, I'm not going to go deep into that line if they start doing all the other figures. I am going to get that deluxe Batman with the bat signal, because then you have 2 of the main characters from the movie, but there were realistically 3, if I suppose you can count Gordon, 4 main characters. But Zoe Kravitz, her rendition of Catwoman was, I thought she just nailed it, and I think it would look like a really good display if you had the bat signal, the Batman, and then Zoe Kravitz Catwoman next to it. I just don't think they're going to do it. I go back and forth in this. Some days I'm thinking they're definitely going to do it, and other days I'm thinking they won't, but you know, hopefully they do. But I definitely pick this one up if they do. Now, before I reveal my number 1 most anticipated Hot Toys announcement, I'm just going to quickly recap on the top 5. So coming in at number 5, I had Cad Bane from the Book of Boba Fett. Coming in at number 4, I had the final suit from Spider-Man No Way Home. Coming in at number 3, I have a Return of the Jedi Darth Vader. At number 2, the Zoe Kravitz Catwoman from the Batman. But at number 1, my number 1 most anticipated Hot Toys announcement, the one I'm looking forward to the most, the one that would be, I don't really pre-order anymore, but this would be as close to a dopo as it gets. It's the MCU Green Goblin, the hooded version. I was never a fan of the Tobey Maguire, Sam Raimi Spider-Mans. They just didn't do it for me. I thought they were too cheesy. I just didn't like them. I apologize. I know it's very divisive. However, I am an MCU fan. I am a Marvel fan, and I thought they absolutely nailed this. And here's what the MCU do best. Instead of directly lifting something from a comic, they keep elements from the comic book, translate it and put it onto the big screen using kind of modern technology. So there's that nod to the source material. What I'm talking about here is the hood. So this was originally like a hoodie that he wore to cover up the suit, and obviously got tattered and torn and battle damage, so it looks like the hood that Green Goblin would have worn in the comic books. You have the goggles. It doesn't have that mask like the Raimi films had, or like the mask he had at the start of No Way Home. It's heavily battle damaged, and I love battle damage. It makes it more real. It adds a lot more character and detail to these 6-scale figures. Obviously you've got the pumpkin bombs, you have the satchels around his waist, which is comic book accurate as well. Heavily worn, heavily battle damaged. Hopefully this comes with a glider, and hopefully it's battle damage as well. I'm going to predict that this is going to be one of the kind of Toy Fair exclusives this year. I just think all roads are leading to that. I do believe they're going to release this, and I think it'd be a perfect opportunity if they went and released this, and hopefully it's with a battle damaged glider. So there you have it. They are my top 5 Hot Toys predictions. They're not only predictions that I think they're going to announce them, but they're figures I'm really anticipating. So if you want to support the channel, like the video, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment. And what I want to know specifically is, do you agree with these predictions? Do you agree we're going to see a Cad Bane or a Zoe Kravitz Catwoman? And also add your own predictions that you anticipate. What figures out there have Hot Toys not yet announced that you believe will be announced? And you can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram. That's pretty much it. See you in the next one. Good luck.